Big 12 and the SEC. As we sit here right now, and we have Boise who will eventually get in.
Right, and Boise would be the champions of the Mountain West. This, again, just a placeholder to show you how it would look. And this would put Boise in the 12th seed because they're ranked 13th. Now, the one thing to point out, and remember, if Boise State were to be ranked higher by the selection committee than one of these other 4 champions, they would go here and the other champion would go there. So it doesn't mean the group of 5 champion is automatically the 12th.
Or if that 13 were a 7,
they're seeded
they're a 7. Or if that 13 were a 19, they would still get in at 12. Because they're the highest of the group of 5 conference champions. If they got upset tonight, lost a game, Army becomes a team, maybe coming out of the American. It could potentially, or Tulane. Right. Somebody from the smaller conferences has to be in here. More than likely, they'll be the 12th seed. And in this case, the 12th highest ranked team, Georgia, gets knocked out because you have to get the group of 5 champion in. So
Well,
that's how we get that.
Let's fill out the rest of it, try to clear out why the numbers are a little bit different here, okay? So Ohio State is ranked number 2, but they're not a conference champion. They can't
These
be
are all saved for the conference champs.
5. Ohio State goes there. Next, you have Penn State, because Texas is already in as a conference
Again,
champion.
don't be
Penn State
confused by the
sixth.
4. That's where they're ranked, but they're not a conference champion. They can't be one of the 4 teams.
Also means Ohio State, Penn State home game, another Big Ten home game,
Another
Indiana.
another Big Ten team. And now we're just stacking ranking. Once you get the conference champions and you get Boise, now you just start stacking
Based
in
on
order.
this.
5 and 6 and 7 and 8. You just start going down the line.
Tennessee would go in, they would have a home game against Notre Dame.
The tricky
9 matchup,
reason the
Alabama and
tricky
Indiana.
part is just clarifying for people. We have to declare the conference champions, the 4 highest, and then you have to declare who's going to be that group of 5 champion. And once you do that, then you just start stacking in order 5, 6, 7, all the way through. Hopefully that makes it. It's confusing.
You and I talked about this on your show this week. I think the one tweak I would make, no. Top 4 seeds, whoever you think will perform best, they get the bye.
Yeah, they're trying to put an emphasis on championships and conference championships, which is why Notre Dame's highest they could be, because they're not in a conference, could be 5, which is up there. So here is the champions, basically the highest ranked. Now, we're just projecting them because the College Football Playoff Committee is forcing us to do that.
Yeah.
I think they should have to do that every single week, but nonetheless, champions are here, another champion's there, 5 through 8 with home games, and then we're off and running. That is basically College Football Playoff.
Imagine these games. That's a Boise in Columbus at the Shoe. That's Notre Dame at Neyland Stadium. Ole Miss at State College, Alabama and Bloomington. If it were like this.
So when you first did that tutorial before the season even began, it made perfect sense because you didn't have teams sliding. But now that you have teams, you have rankings,
seeding.
you have like records.
Yeah.
Now that's how it's getting more and more confused. I was like, oh, this is simple.
Yeah.
But now the way you guys just broke
Did
it
this
down,
help?
now
Did this help?
it's starting to make
And
much
this
more
could be,
sense.
like I said, this
Exactly.
could be Ohio State, and then
Yeah.
Oregon would end up moving here. This is a conference.
You're trying to train people to think completely different because they see these 2 numbers.
Yeah.
But that's when they start to get confused. Let's take another aspect of this though now, because when you're starting to take the teams out of the rankings and stack them, how are they stacked? And this is an issue that you have because you have a number of teams, none of whom have this number 1 strength of schedule. Like Georgia, who's the first team out.
Think of where Georgia's playing, Coach.
And I think the number 1 thing the committee has to do is take great appreciation for strength of schedule. Because in college football, if there's no merit to playing a difficult schedule, why would you ever play a difficult schedule, and how does that affect the fans and how many good games that we see? So you have Indiana right here, who has beaten in no top 25 team, beaten no top 25 team. Texas has beaten no top 25 team. So that should mean something because Georgia has beaten 2. Alabama is 4-1 against top 25 teams. But yet, how much is that being taken into
I agree with
consideration?
you 100%. You shouldn't just look at these numbers or these numbers. You should also look at who did
Where,
exactly
who,
and where, and have to
time
factor
of
into the equation.
Time of the day. These think about what Georgia's had to do. Where do they play? On the road at night, hostile environment. So Georgia, it's in front of them. They're more likely have a chance to work it out. But coach, I hear coaches, I hear athletic directors, a lot of guys talk about how. Well, I'm not getting future future schedules, I'm not going to play anybody. All they're looking at is the wins and losses.
Okay.
We don't want that to be an answer. Okay, good.
They're not going to like it because I agree with everything you're saying about Georgia. How you play counts too.
Yes.
You slip by Kentucky. You don't look great against Florida. You get your doors thrown out for 2.5 quarters in Alabama. All of those things should count.
We're
too.
focusing on Georgia, but I mean, this obviously applies to all these teams, and you pointed out teams that haven't played anybody.
Now, to be clear, not Indiana's fault that they didn't play anybody either. They thought they were trash, so they didn't give them a primetime schedule. So football judgment's a big deal with Indiana. How are they executing? How is Ohio State?
That's all fair. That's all fair.
I mean, that's real, you know, and that's going to have to be the balance of the playoff committee there.
So Nick, what if you looked at that?
Yeah,
with
that's
the numbers that Indiana has, they played one team right now that currently has a winning record in Nebraska.
They better play well.
How big a deal is it that they play well in Columbus next week?
It's really simple to me. What if they did it? What would happen? What if they didn't? What would happen? If they play Georgia's schedule, what would their record be? That's the question you have to ask. But if they don't play, you don't know. That's why it's important to have a difficult schedule, in my opinion.
But with all this in mind, with everything you're looking at, if they go to Columbus next week and they compete and lose, I think we all agree they're going to be in. If they lose 42-7, I'm just saying. If they lose 42-7 and they're 11-1, what do you guys think will happen to Indiana?
I think they're in trouble.
I think they're in trouble.
The other issue that down the road everybody needs to look at is how does championship games affect this? You could be a 2-loss team, get in a championship game, still be one of the best teams that had
You get
most wins
penalized?
against top teams and get knocked out because of what you do in a championship game.
And other teams that get
You could be Notre Dame, you don't have a championship.
Right.
And the trade-off for that was that what Pat mentioned earlier, they can't be seeded higher than 5. They can't.
Yeah.
They can't get into the quarterfinals in any way, shape, or form.
It's a wild year. It's a great year.
By the way,
It's the best year of all
I
time.
promise Nick, I would ask Ward Manuel every week about the conference championship game.
But here is the good news about a 12-team playoff. We had years when we had a 2-team playoff where the third best teams should have been in and didn't get in. We had years with a 14 playoff where the 15 didn't get in. We're going to get the best teams into the playoff because the best 5 or 6 teams will get in. Controversy is going to come with the other guys.
Yeah.
But I'm staying out of it this year.
I thought we were solving all the controversy. 12, maybe
I get 14.
That's what we did. One of the teams that you just saw at 16% chance right now to make the playoff is Tulane. That man, Brian Newberry, will be leading his naval midshipmen against them. The Vince on Senior Day. They'll be honoring 23 who are playing their final game in Annapolis. And boy, Tulane has really come on over after a little bit of a slow start, lost a couple of games to Power 4 teams. They will be in the American title game if they are able to win at Navy Day. You know, Navy 19-1 in their last 20 senior days. HBCU slate the CIAA football championship. Virginia Union, Virginia State. They just played last week. They go at it again.
Yeah, Byers has 23 rushing touchdowns, and Mike Wright, the quarterback, has thrown 18 touchdown passes this season. But Romero Williams holding the ball in one hand. Coach Saban doesn't like that. Some of his top receivers are Tayshaun Porter, who's one of his favorite target, averaging 13 yards per catch, had 2 touchdowns a week ago. And that man right there, Jamil Williams, almost 900 yards on the season with 11 touchdowns.
And the SIAC championship, Clark from Atlanta, Miles College from Birmingham.
Yeah, David Wright III, one of the best passers in the division, over 2,800 yards through the air. David Martin and Armand Harris, his favorite targets. But check this out, Alan Riggs, the running game goes with him. Miles College, great on special teams, but their defense is tenacious. This group has 38 sacks, and check this out, guys. 17 interceptions so far this season. A bunch of ball hawks in their secondary. How you guys like that red turf?
That's tough on the retinas there. Don't forget, President Wheels Up. Make sure that Cody Rose get here, our celebrity guest kicker. Look forward to having Cody join us. Make some picks and see if he picks his beloved dogs. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Roadcast the game ready. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear is your rhythm. Just about set to try to give away some money.
Henry Silver, major biology, 150 racks on the line. Played soccer growing up. It's a damn good dog. freshman from Indiana. I think there's a chance this gets expensive over there. I think Henry Silver goes for some green. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Don't go anywhere. Field goal contest coming up. Much more on Georgia, Tennessee. And right now, a quick word from Duncan.
The $6 meal deal is here. It starts with Duncan's legendary coffee, a toasty, melty bacon, egg, and
Oh
cheese
yeah,
sandwich.
that sounds good. I had that before.
Order